Princess and friends. All love, all love. When you talk to me, it's all love. It's princess and friends. All love, good vibes. Shout out to my girls and my guys. It's princess and friends. All love, all love. When you talk to me, it's all love. It's princess and friends. All love, good vibes. Shout out to my girls and my guys.
Hi guys, welcome to another episode of Princess and Friends. Thank you so much for joining me again. I am here with three absolutely amazing guests. Not only are they guests, but they're my friends for real. So it really is Princess and Friends. We're doing our Princess and Friends today. So guys, starting from that side, are you able to introduce yourselves, please?
Yes, I am Glam's Tan.
Lovely to meet you, Glam's Tan. For those that don't already know, yeah, Reese.
I'm not able to introduce myself.
Do you know what? I kind of just did.
No,
I
I'm
kind of
joking.
just did, but yeah, go ahead.
Reese Realism.
Awesome. And who do I have to my left? Who is this lovely young gentleman?
The raw food disciple.
Amazing. Amazing. Love, love, love. I just was about to sidetrack because you've been doing some really, really amazing things as of recent, haven't you?
In relation to
Me did see a pun. No, I saw you. Yeah, I seen a couple posts. Yeah, of you just repping in the streets of Brixton and repping for our good sister that got
Peckham.
violated. Oh, Peckham, sorry, violated in that hair shop. And our brother Extra has been very vocal about it and standing up for us as sisters. So we do have brothers in our corner and good brothers. Do you know what I mean? So do get onto him and follow him and get involved with what he's got going on. Right, guys. So our topic for today is going to be, we're going to be chopping it up about, the different types of abuses, because we know about domestic violence, but I don't feel, this is my personal perspective anyway, is emotional abuse spoken about as much? Is the impact of emotional abuse akin to domestic abuse? Are they the same? Do they have the same impacts? And how do they affect us as men and women? And that's why I've decided to have a variation in our panel today, so we can basically chop it up.
Let me get
between
closer
us.
to me, mic.
You just want to get away from me.
Get closer to me, mic, man. No.
Right.
Yeah.
So, yeah, guys. So I know, and the reason why I brought you guys on as well is because, as you know, I usually do one-to-one interviews, but because I know you all personally, and you've got number one, you're amazing.
We were set up
people.
today. We all did say that in the waiting room. Still,
It's not a setup. It's not a setup.
but that's how you can deal with your real friends.
Yeah,
you see what I'm saying?
yeah,
That's how you can deal with your real
yeah.
friends. You can set them up
And
still.
And they run with it.
I mean, I know them two people there, so today or not, we get set up.
Just today.
But we love or no still.
Yeah.
Love.
Listen, it's Princess and Friends. I just put my friends together. Right. So, yeah, you're amazing people. And you've all had your experiences. Do you know what I mean? So I just thought, why not bring people I know to talk about a topic that I'm quite passionate about? So, I think, first of all, I'll start with you, Ree.
I knew you were going to start with me.
Did you?
Everyone always starts with Reese
How?
first, isn't
'Cause
it?
I didn't even know I was going to start with you. But yeah, you must have
I felt it.
read my mind. Yeah. So, first of all, I want to ask you, domestic violence and emotional abuse. What's the difference between the two? And
I've
what's
had
the
both.
difference in right?
So I won't go into too much detail. We ain't got enough time.
I've always got time for you, but you
but
talk
for the
freely how
camera.
you want to speak. Yeah.
I've had domestic violence had done to me by my previous ex-wife. And
Should not do that, by the way. Yeah.
And on 2 occasions. But at first, the first one, it was more of an argument, then it just turned violent out of nowhere.
So she hadn't been violent previously.
No, never put a hand on me at all.
Right.
And I was like, right, okay, cool. But as I've been grown up to be a certain man, it's just to calm the situation down and get on with it. Like there's no point phoning that person, this person, that person. I ain't got time for that. We need to deal with it in the house and deal with it in the house. But what I ignored before that was the emotional abuse. I moved to America for 4 years to do a 4-year scholar. She wasn't happy about it, but I moved back. I had nothing, and I came back from America. I wasn't supposed to come back, but I did, and I had nothing. And what I realized, because I had no money, I had no nothing. She had everything. It was, if you don't do this, you can't get this. If you don't do this, but I was making sure that the house was clean. My daughter was picked up from nursery, then school. I was just doing. It felt like I was roles were reversed. I was the at home kind of not wife, but at home guy. I was hoovering the house, cleaning, doing all that
He was
stuff.
a house husband.
I was a house husband,
Yeah.
so to speak. But and I wasn't working. I was claiming JSA. That's the worst 4 months of my life. But it was like, oh, if you don't do this, or if you don't, I'm not doing that, or we're not going to your mum's house. You understand? So I was kind of thinking, but this is my wife, so I ain't got time to be nagging and let me just get on with it. But it's when the domestic started to come in, the physical violence. I think to myself, bro, like I've ignored all this stuff in the past that was happening to me emotionally, just because I'm, it's love. I'm thinking it's love. I'm thinking it's love. I'm thinking it's love. It's not until I had a conversation with my guys. And they would start to speak to me about, but didn't you realize this, that? Didn't you realize? And I had to sit down after a while and think to myself, you know what? I was being emotionally abused from way back before I even got married to her. But I just kept on going. Kept on, like I was talking to Extra before in the room. As men, we just keep going. And that's the thing we don't speak about. We just keep going and going and going. And to a point, you get to a breaking point.
We were just talking about the abuse we take from shopkeepers.
Even that.
Imagine that.
As men.
Like deep.
As men. So I think the emotional abuse, it happens. I think for me, it happens first. It happens first. And then if they can't break you that way, then
So do you believe she was actively trying to break you?
She actually tried to break me because I think for her, she wasn't getting... I think at the beginning, when we first got together, like for me, I'm all in. I put my cards on the table. I'm all in. So she sees you see a nice person that I used to say, never say no. I was a person, you know me though, innit?
Yeah.
So I wouldn't say no to anyone.
Yeah.
So I would try my best to please. I was a people pleaser. I wanted to please everyone. So she knew that. So she took advantage of it. And then you get to a breaking point where you have to start saying no. And these times I didn't know who the man who I was then, who I am now. So I was still finding myself. And then that knocked back from America to come back to have nothing.
Yeah,
I had
that's
nothing. I had
that's a
0
big
P.
deal.
I had
You
no
went
bank
from being a
account.
hot boy, he was a hot boy in the ends, you know.
I had
He was-
nothing. When I
yeah.
moved to America, I was doing so well. I was close to signing a pro contract in football, and then it just went in a matter of an hour. So I came back,
That was a lot on
and
its
then
own.
I had nothing. And I think she preyed on that. Like, she knows I'm a nice guy. I'm not gonna go out and do a madness.
Not only that, I think also she may have carried resentment because she didn't want you to go,
yeah.
and you went.
Yeah.
And then when things fell through,
She was happy for
it's probably human nature. Well, majority of people would be like, see, you went against me, and now look, you need me. You know, it takes a special person not to exploit that type of vulnerability. Do you know what I mean? Because you were actually vulnerable at that time.
And I didn't see it. I didn't see it. I could see me coming back. My youngest daughter was what, maybe 3 or 4. So I didn't get to see her regular. So then coming back, moving in with her, living with her, being with my daughter, it was like the best thing ever for me. Best thing ever. So I got my partner, soon to be wife, and then my daughter. And then it was like, yeah. And then, like I said, I was ignoring things. And then you just hit us. You have to, I think for me, you have to hit rock bottom.
So what was the domestic abuse? Because I know that happened in one
It
incident.
was the first time.
Oh, she did it twice.
It was twice. So the first time, it was, I didn't follow her to a holiday for her birthday, but I started to find myself where I started saying no now.
Yeah, you had to set your boundaries.
I had to set my boundaries, and I think for her, it's like, like you're saying no to me, kind of thing. So she come back, we got into an argument, and then whatever, and then she tried to attack me, and I just held her down, and she's screaming down the house. Yeah. Neighbors called the police.
Oh, wow.
She ran and locked herself in the bathroom. They've come in the house, come charging at me. Like, we've heard blah, 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 blah. I said, well, hey, I said, ho, what's going on here? It's not me. I didn't put my hand on her. I restrained her. She tried to hit me. She tried to attack me. And then they got both of our statements. They arrested her for domestic violence. They arrested her for domestic violence. And I pleaded with them, though, because my wife, innit? I pleaded, said, no, don't take her. We will do this in the house. My daughter was sleeping. She didn't hear anything. I thought she didn't hear anything. But, in the house, police said, no, it's domestic violence. We have to take her because of the cases of rising. Like men against women, women against men. I didn't know none of that. I just, as far as I was concerned, when you hear domestic violence, the first thing you hear, women's getting attacked. Women's getting attacked. Because that's what I used to always hear. And the policeman said to me, no, we've got to take her. So they've taken her to the police station. I had my daughter. Daughter asked her, where's mum? I said, mum, I can't remember what I said. Mum, something. I said, I'm taking to school. Well, I took my daughter to school anyway. So I'm taking to school. She was happy. And then she got released the next day. And then what was weird is that I got a phone call when I came back in the afternoon picking my daughter from her dad saying, oh, I think you should leave the house.
From who? Your wife's dad?
Yeah.
That you should be.
Wow.
Because she got arrested.
I think it's fair that you leave the house.
Fair.
Yeah, I said, all right, you know what? I said, cool. I ain't got time. I packed my bags. I left, not knowing where I was gonna go. But luckily at the time I had
Oh, you
grandparents.
actually left.
I left. Listen. I don't lay my head where I'm not wanted.
Trust.
I don't want to wake up in the morning, not wake up. You know, I want to be sleeping and I'm. Do you understand?
Yeah.
I've had too many stories of man not waking up.
You wanna
So
feel
I
safe.
thought, you know what?
True.
Yeah. And I said to my people, I said to my friend, I'm not perfect and I've done things in the past, but not to this extent. I would never put my hands on a woman. So yeah, I left, went to go and live with my grandparents for a bit. And then what happens that, because I'm living with my grandparents, my grandma, God rest her soul, and my granddad, they were two parents that I've grown up with that I've seen love each other.
Yeah.
So that living in with them, it showed me like a bit more resilience. They showed me the love. And even my grandma used to say to me like, "You're gonna go back home, you know. You're gonna go back home to her and blah blah blah." I thought to myself, "Nope, I ain't going back there. You're crazy." But I did. After I think 6 months, I went back, and then things were cool.
What made you go back?
She apologized. Another more emotional abuse. Like, "Oh, I'm so sorry. Didn't mean it. Oh, you're so sorry. Come back home. Blah blah blah. Your daughter's here. I'm here. Blah 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 blah." And then I moved back, and then we moved out the flat. I moved to her mum's house, and then things were cool then. And then I started to see. I didn't know how she would conversate with her mum because, as far as I'm concerned, mum and daughter are close. And then when you live with someone, you sort of see something different. The way she spoke to her mum at certain times, I think to myself, raw. As a man, I had to step in and say, "You can't talk to your mum like that. That's your mum." Understand? But I left it as that. And then one night again, I remember we went out. It was Father's Day, and then it was Father's Day, and I woke up in the morning, and she bakes cakes, innit? So I think I'm getting a cake, you know, for Father's Day. I'm not really care about presents, you know me. I don't really care about gifts.
Yeah.
It's the effort.
No, you are like that.
So I thought, you know what? Yeah, I thought, you know what? She's making me a cake, so I guess I get up now, and my daughter's woken up. "Oh, happy Father's Day, Dad." She made me a card at school. I loved it. I still got the card now. I loved it. This is years ago. It's 2014. So yeah, I loved it, whatever. And then I'm like, right, okay, cool. So I'm not even looking for a gift from her. I think she's happy Father's Day and cover. So the doorbell rings about 2 hours later. It's my cousin. I'm like, right, what are you doing? "Oh, come to get cupcakes from blah blah blah." I said,
Stop it.
"Oh yeah." I think, but I'm still thinking there's a cake for me in the
For
oven.
you.
You understand?
Yeah, there's a batch
no.
for you.
All
Yeah.
right, cool. Come 5 o'clock now, nothing. All right, cool. So I thought, you know what? I said to myself, you know what, ban this. I'm taking me and my daughter's got this thing. We used to go TGI's in Wembley.
So she didn't mention it to you at all? She didn't mention Happy Father's Day?
I can't even remember, but
Okay.
I would have, if she did, I would have
It
remembered.
wasn't a big
Yeah.
deal to her.
So,
Yeah.
all right, cool. So Father's Day, and I'm like, right, cool. And this time I woke up some football. So I said, me and my daughter's got this thing. We used to go TGI's. Like to the point when we go TGI's, the people know us, innit? So we go there now, and I come back from TGI's. I told her I'm not going nowhere. And then it kind of kicked off her and her mum because we were supposed to go to some party in the evening. I said, I'm not going. Then I heard her say to her mum, "Take him with you." I thought to myself, who the hell is him? So I said, you know what? I'm going to TGI's with my daughter. I took my daughter to TGI's, come back now. Like, providing, we've been together for so long. We go to bed at night with the TV on. I turn it off because she goes to bed. So I'm in the bed watching the World Cup, whatever. My daughter's sleeping right there where this table is, right next to us. We all three of us are sharing one room, yeah? She comes in, doesn't say anything, comes in, gets undressed. "I'm going to bed now." I said, "All right, good night. You don't want to talk to me, good night." Turn off the TV. No one, I'm watching the World Cup. I said, "It's all right, go to sleep." I turn it back on. "It's all right, we go to bed at night every night. If you got something to say, say it. If not, we talk tomorrow." Turns it off. Turn it back on. She gets out the bed, takes out the plug. I'm like, you know what, cool. Grab my iPad. I had my little iPad, and I turned, you know when sometimes, because the room's dark now, so she turned the light off. And you know on the iPad, the button's a bit fiddly, right? So I've turned my iPad on, it's loud. Yeah, it's loud.
No, Reese,
I feel, oh my God. So I try to turn it down because I know she's going to kick off, innit? Turn it down. "Oh, why are you making so much noise for?" So I said, "It's all right, I'm turning it down." So I'm watching it now. She goes, "Give me that." So I said, "No." So I threw it under the bed. As I threw it on the bed, wham, in the back of my head. Yeah, just felt a hit in the back of my head. I thought to myself, nah, you know, it didn't feel real. Like, you actually banged me in my head. Like, man I wouldn't take that from no one else.
No,
Do you understand? So she's banged me in my head now. I thought to myself, nah, and it hit me again. And it didn't feel like it was real. Like, you're not hurting me, but you're hitting me.
Yeah,
Like,
the intention is
yeah,
there.
it's there.
Yeah.
I think myself, she's banged me 3 or 4 times. Now I turn around, wham, in my face. I said, nah. So I'm restraining her now.
Taking the piss.
Whatever. Yeah, I'm restraining her now. This time
With
my
your
daughter's here.
child, all right.
She's right there
At the
sleeping.
foot of the bed.
Foot of the bed.
Yes.
Yeah. I'm not to myself, rah.
That's what's got me the most.
Nah. I said, nah, this has got to stop. So I pushed her. She fell on my daughter. So she got my daughter, I picked her up and brought her to her mum's room next door. And she's telling her mum.
And this is in her mum's house.
She's telling her mum, oh, he needs to leave. The mum goes, I'm not getting involved.
Because you show your mum so much disrespect.
I'm not getting involved, innit? So I can hear it. Innit? So I can hear it. I'm like, all right, cool. She comes back in now. She's starting to take my clothes off the wardrobe, throwing it down the stairs. I said, what are you doing? Like, what's wrong with you, innit? And then she started, so we go back and forth, have a bit of verbal. She gets the Sky remote and starts to try and jam it in my head. Yeah. So I said, all right, cool. Bundle this. I said, I'm not doing this. I said, I pushed her. She went flying into the book. There's like a bookshelf and the TV was there. She went flying into that. And then she came back and then she started to come back for me again. So this time I'm restraining her now on the floor. Her mum's coming, stop it. Like, don't hurt her. What do you think she does? Hit me then. Why am I going to hit you? Because your mum, you're looking for witness. Am I going to hit you? I said, I'm not going to hit you. Come on now. I'm not going to hit you. I'm not going to hit you, man. What's wrong with you? I'm not hitting you. So as I'm getting off her now, she kicks me in my face.
Kicks you. Yeah.
Then her mum says to her, you need to leave.
To her.
You need to leave my house. How dare you? You need to leave. She goes, I need to leave. The thing about, you know what's mad? I can remember it like it was yesterday. Yeah, I need to leave. My mum goes, yes. So she got in there, she got whatever, got her car and jumped it in her car and sped off. Her mum left me in the room, went back in the room, went to bed. So I called my mum, innit? And my mum is my, like, you know me, my mum is my, apart from my grandma, my mum is my, like,
that's
no
your
one can, that's my, like, my mum's had me, I've been through so much with my mum from birth, right? So I said to my mum, I phoned my mum and she didn't answer. I said, all right, cool. So I sent her a picture of my face. I turned the light on, I still got a scar here. My side was hurting and my whole face here was swollen, right? And I didn't realize at the time. So I took the picture, I said to my mum, I've never known anyone to drive from Collierdale to Wembley so fast. What happened? I told her, jumped in the car, went straight to police station, Wembley police station. I refused to give a statement at first.
Why did you refuse to give a
Because
statement?
there was so much. I don't know. There was so much going through my. It didn't feel real. It didn't feel like I was. This is happening to me. Like I was like, right, this is happening to me. Went police station. They said to me, are you okay? They gave me a couple checks. I didn't even know I had a bite mark here.
A bite mark?
Yeah, I had a bite mark on my side. Like, I had a bite mark. I didn't even feel these things.
That's actually very
and I had
vicious.
my face was so swollen here. And then, is your face all right? My cheek was up here. And I said, yeah, I'm all right. I said, why? Your face is swollen, mate. I'm like, no, I'm all right. And then I'm like, rah, my face is like here. So I had to write a statement now, blah, blah, blah. Then I started to fall asleep in it, so they thought I was concussed. I told them what happened. I said, no, I'm just tired, innit?
Yeah, it was a whole...
Nah, they blue lighted me straight to Norfolk Park because they didn't want to take had a CT scan, had all these scans, and then they released me.
I'm glad they looked after you.
They released me, and then the next day I wanted to drop charges. I wanted to.
Why?
Because I just thought, you know what, I'm going to deal this with, like I said to Extra, we deal with things ourselves. I don't want no outsiders to.
Was there any shame attached to that? Being a man?
I've gone past that now.
But was there at the time that my wife, and I've seen your wife, she's quite petite.
Yeah, it wasn't shame at all because at the time I was just thinking, like, for me, marriage is death to do part in it. Just
so your loyalty, you still felt bound.
I felt bound, loyal, even though this is going on. I still felt bound, loyal to her, innit? So we can work counselling, we can work things out. And then I said to and then it's when the next day, and I was going to go and file take away the thing. CPS told me, nah, domestic violence, they're taking over this case.
Yeah,
there's nothing you can do. There's nothing you can say.
Does reach that point.
So I said, there's nothing I can do. If you two try and do it, I could be in trouble for it. I said, nah. I said, all right, cool. And then, let's say down the line, went to court. Then she got found guilty of GBH, ABH. Then I didn't even go, to be fair, I didn't even go to the final court hearing. My mum and my brother did. Because I was at work. For me, that's done. That's done. So I didn't even go to that. And then my mum told me that the judge said to me, she's this close to going to jail. I didn't ask why. My mum didn't ask why. And this close to going to jail. And I said to myself, all right, cool. She's got community service. And
do you feel like you missed any signs with her?
Oh, yeah. Now, after of because I have the work, the growth I've done now, and the healing I've done now, and the counseling I've had now, I realized that there were signs from even before I had my daughter that I just ignored. Because I did wrong. Don't get me wrong. There were certain things I did wrong. That I was young, innit? I was young, like you said. I was outside, innit? I was young. Everyone who knows me, I like to have fun, innit? So, but I think for her, it was more of it was for her. She thought, okay, I'm with him now. Like, nah. It was more of a pride
Yeah,
thing,
yeah,
wasn't
yeah,
it? Well, she didn't really care for me as I thought,
yeah.
and it's only of the last maybe say 5 or 6 years or 7 years after is when I realized that it was I was getting it was just a prize thing. It weren't
Yeah.
trophy thing.
business.
So like I said, going back to it, the emotional abuse was for way before the physical abuse, and for me that was the difference. Definitely the difference for me.
Love for that, Ree.
It's cool.
T, tell us
Yes,
about
Reaper.
your experiences.
Gosh. Mine's just long, but I was married before. I've got 4 beautiful kids. I've got 3 from my ex-husband, and he's Nigerian. Obviously, I'm Jamaican, and I have my first son's from obviously someone else, my oldest son. And the thing about it is, he helped me raise my first son. Helped me raise him. Um, and everything was good. Everything was good, and Papa like got on with my family, my dad. Just he got along with everyone, but he was more like to himself. He was more of an introvert, and I didn't. Did I see the signs? No, because I just knew him as being like, more quieter. But when he's around people that he knew, he was like outgoing. But if people didn't know, he was an introvert. We were together for 8 years. 8 years, married for 3 years, and I always knew that he was just like this kind of like, headstrong and just, the new one say like alpha male type guy, like just the way he was. But I knew that he obviously was there for me during all my pregnancies. He was there and everything. He was there, helped me look after my son, as I said. In terms of the domestic, that happened once. That happened once. But I always said to myself, that's all it could take. I just didn't want to ever give it another chance to happen again. I just thought, for once, anyone puts their hands on me once, that's all it took. So when I when he hit me, I took a blow to my temple and I suffered a concussion. I blacked out in the recovery position with police there. I remember calling the police. My head was big. I remember passing out, waking up with my finger around the police officer. The kids, so it was mad. So the kids were sleeping. Went to the hospital. He had gone now. He had gone. Went to the hospital.
Where had he gone?
He went off.
So
he
when
ran.
police came, he wasn't arrested.
Someone around the area was literally like with my kids, literally just outside with them. And then when
So
obviously to hospital.
Sorry, T, I don't
Sorry.
want to interject, but
Yeah,
so
that's right.
he had left you concussed.
He had left me
Passed
concussed.
out
Yeah,
on
left
the
me
ground.
concussed. Left
Wow.
me. Left
with
me.
the children in the house.
Yeah, upstairs sleeping.
Wow.
Yep, he left me. And I went to the hospital with the children. And because I blacked out, they obviously did their checks and everything. And yeah, they said that you was this close to him just taking me out basically from where he hit me.
Yeah,
So
your
it's
temple.
dangerous. Could have killed me. It was like I was in shock. I was scared because I was just like, oh my God. I didn't think I would ever, you just hear stories of things happening to people and you're like, no one can just put their hands on me. Who do you think you are? I would get this. No, you just don't know when these things are gonna happen. You can't, sometimes we can't like kind of predict how people will act in situations.
Right.
Do you see what I mean? But it was a disappointment because of everything we've gone through. We've got our kids, and I just felt at that point when he did that, so he ruined everything. I could never trust him. I could never see him the same. Like it was just gone. It was just gone, and it did impact me for in other ways. thinking that I know not all men's the same, but it did paint a picture, thinking that all men like this, like, you know, it was just weird. It was
So
weird for me.
you know how Ree has said it started with emotional abuse, and
Yeah.
he feels like all abuse will start at that point.
Yeah.
Did you have any signs now in hindsight
I
that you
felt
could see?
at that point, I remember, like, it's true, the signs are always there, but we can't sometimes discern them because we think that we're in love. Obviously, I saw it as I didn't want to break up the family because I was with, you know, my kid's dad and everything, and I wanted to keep us together. But when he did that, that just ruined everything. He was more. There was times when I didn't really see my friends. I was obviously at home being a mom, which is, of course, that's my role. But I just felt like if I wanted to go out or anything, or if I did just like go out with like some friends, like just out on the day out, just be like, oh, where are you? Just burning off my phone. And it was just like, there was no, I don't know. It's just the way it was. It felt like there was kind of a little bit of a control. There's a little bit of control because when it came to my role being a wife, I made sure that I was doing my bit for him, making sure the food was cooked, cleaning clothes, being a mother, making sure the house was clean, everything. I did all of that. But I feel like as mothers, it's okay for us to want a little time to just kind of just chill out, just have a bit of time with our, you know, moms and everything, all of our friends. So I kind of felt like it got to a point I didn't really see my friends anymore. I was just in the house. That's all it was. And because my kids are literally the last three are a year apart. So obviously it was a lot. Yeah,
sounds like it.
it was a lot. But I didn't really see my friends, so I kind of thought I was just in the house, playing mummy, playing wife, and so it was just a disappointment.
Right.
It was a disappointment. He did apologize. He did apologize a little while after that. But yeah, that was the end. I
You
got
couldn't.
it. Nah, I couldn't. Like even in terms of like marriage counseling and all of that, it was hard. It was hard to look at someone you've gone through so much with, that you've tried to build with, and who was meant to protect you.
Yeah.
I didn't feel no longer protected by him. Whereas before, I had respect for him. I did respect him. I did respect his judgment on things. But when he did that, that ruined everything. So I mean, but I felt disappointment in myself, because I felt like, am I wrong? Am I reacting in a type of way? Am I wrong for kind of saying, okay, no, I can't do this anymore. Let me just get this divorce. I couldn't lay down with him again. I literally could not do it.
I understand
So
that.
I did, obviously I said that, you know what, I would never stop any of my fathers, my kids' fathers from seeing the kids. Not at all, but I just didn't want him
And that's okay.
around me. So we did have someone who we both trusted that could kind of mediate for a while. That's what we did. Well, yeah.
Sounds like a mature solution to a really tough
Yeah.
situation.
Yeah.
Love for that, D.
Powers.
Yeah.
Both of you still.
Love.
Thank you.
So over to you, my brother.
Mm.
What have your experiences been in regards to, you know, just any type of abuse? Because I don't want it to just be focused on physical abuse, because as Reese said, the effects of emotional abuse are sometimes more subtle but just as damaging. So I want to know from your perspective what has happened to you, what your experiences have been.
So, Brother Reese said a few beautiful things still. And speak, because even now, the range of what domestic abuse actually covers emotional, covers mental, it covers financial. You get what I'm saying? These things actually come under domestic abuse. Like, and we shouldn't shy away from that part of the conversation, being involved in what domestic abuse covers. So, hearing him say that, it was so deep, because I've not really heard brothers speak about being on the receiving end. Do you get what I'm saying? So to hear another brother speak, and then so responsibly as well, because there's a way in which that we can talk about our experiences. Do you get what I'm saying? I appreciate you, brother. I have to say that to you. You get what I'm saying? When you spoke about, oh, if you don't do this, I'm not gonna give you this money. I was a house husband. So I overstand that experience. You get what I'm saying? I chose to be a house husband because me and my partner agreed to have a child. Now we share 3 children. We're not together anymore. And she asked me, she proposed to me that she would like to go to work. Do you get what I'm saying? We weren't young parents, but I was 25, first child. She was 21. Do you get what I'm saying? She proposed to me that she would like to go to work. Now, coming from a position where I'm about to be a father, the first thing in my head is I want to go to work.
To work, yeah.
Do you get what I'm saying? But being that we've agreed to have a child, like, I don't think that women recognize when they have a valuable man. Do you get what I'm saying? Like, a man that comes with principles and morals and actually wants to build a home. So we will negotiate with what that looks like to get our home built. Do you get what I'm saying? So I didn't know anything of being a father. I didn't have a father. My father's alive, kicking well. We have a great relationship today, but he just wasn't present. You get what I'm saying? He didn't give me the guidance that I required to know what then even managing myself in a relationship looks like. It's that deep. Do you get what I'm saying? It's not just about teaching me to be a father to my children. It's actually teaching me to navigate myself in a relationship with a woman. Because if I had a man in the home or my father in the home, I would see just by the dynamics of mum and dad. We know by a certain age what's right and wrong. We don't have to be taught that or told that it's a feeling that doesn't feel right. But that feels good. Do you get what I'm saying? So if we see an experience that doesn't make us feel good, we know that's wrong. Do you get what I'm saying? So just having my father around and having certain experiences would have enabled me to have something that I would have to search for myself. But not having him around made me say, I'm going to be present for my children. You get what I'm saying? So when I get into a relationship now and I've agreed to have a child, and no matter what we're going through, like what brother said, so many things that you said, like, yo, I just want to be here and build my home. Do you get what I'm saying? No matter what's going on, we must get through that because I'm here for us. Do you get what I'm saying? So I experienced, I don't want to like make it hard because a lot of people know me, innit? A lot of people know my children's mother. Like, but I experienced consistent physical violence. Do you get what I'm saying? Like, at the point, and it was all started with emotional because we missed those signs. Do you get what I'm saying? Like, I remember having a conversation before we had children about the nature of our relationship. And I hold myself accountable for, even though she chooses to do what she does, I hold myself accountable for allowing myself to go through what I went through in that relationship, because there was a point in our relationship that I had a chance to say, you know what, see you later. And I chose not to. I chose to go against what in my head I should present again based on what I've said to you about our relationship. Starting again, we don't have a friendship. That's what I said. That we don't have a friendship. And if we don't have a friendship going forward in our relationship, like, we're going to struggle. Do you get what I'm saying? I didn't know anything about that. I was young still. I was like 18, 19. Do you get what I'm saying? But I'm presenting this to someone who, the way our relationship is going, there's something wrong. I can feel it. I can see it. Do you get what I'm saying? So something said to me to speak to her about our friendship and starting again and building our friendship. She went and spoke to one of her friends and came back. I'll never forget that day, because that was the day that I had a choice and I chose not to I didn't make the right decision. Do you get what I'm saying? Because when she said to me, I spoke to my friend and my friend said that basically you're chatting rubbish. If you want to be with me, we'll just be together. And, you get what I'm saying? And I wanted to challenge that, but I didn't. My choice at that time was to get on with it, which was the wrong decision. And not the wrong decision because I have 3 beautiful children with this woman, but it's the wrong decision for what I allowed all of us to experience. Do you get what I'm saying? I allowed that because I stayed in the home experiencing mad, crazy emotional abuse, things that I didn't get to experience because my dad wasn't sitting in the yard. You get what I'm saying? And I didn't hear my mum cussing off my dad in my house either. So I was afflicted in 2 ways, because my children are hearing things that I don't see that they should hear because I'm here. You get what I'm saying? And anything that, like you said, we can do things wrong, you know. But how we manage our relationship, I'm not going to say I'm the reason why she treated me like that. People have to be accountable for their behavior, period. You get what I'm saying? But I can understand that I can trigger you based on something that's happened. But then why did I do that? Was I not triggered? So we have to always be accountable to say, okay, then I need to check myself no matter what. You get what I'm saying? So no matter what someone else is doing, I can move from wherever I need to move to always being my best self. And it's that took me to come out the house. Do you get what I'm saying? Do you know, I didn't want to come out the house. I didn't want to leave my children because I lose out. Once I leave that house, it might be only momentary. It might be 4 weeks. It might be a month. It might be 6 months. It might be time that I can use to sort out myself, to make sure that I can be in a position where I'm not feeling like I lose out, but I lose time with my children. And depending on the nature of that woman that I come out of the house with, it gets worse because now she controls how I see my children. That's another level of abuse that we don't talk about. You get what I'm saying? That is mental and emotional. We got an agreement to pick up our children, or for me to see our children. Wherever we're gonna meet, you don't arrive at the allotted time. You get what I'm saying? I'm sitting there waiting for you. I phone you, we get into an argument because I phoned you, but you're late. You get what I'm saying? Like, why are you late? Or even things like, you only want to take the children because you want to show off to your family. They're my children. It's a family event. You know, like my family, because like I grew up in a close-knit family, like you, my mum, my aunties, they know me. My auntie said to me one day, listen, you are meant to come to family events. What, just because you don't have your children, you don't turn up? And
Is that how you felt? You couldn't go without your children?
Why am I going to my family events and I can't bring my children? Why am I going? Everyone's there with their children. I want my children to be a part of this event. I want my children to know their family. Do you get what I'm saying? So that was a process that I had to work through. Do you get what I'm saying? But it was beautiful that someone who I never spoke to knew.
Identify that.
That's what my problem was. And called me out on it straight away. Do you get what I'm saying? Because those things helped me to move. You know, I do need, because I knew I do need to go to my family events just because I don't have my children. You get what I'm saying? I don't need to be made to feel guilty.
And isolate yourself because you're
isolating
yourself.
I'm isolating myself, and that's what we do.
Yeah.
Like said, until you spoke to his friends, he didn't understand what he was going through.
Didn't.
Because he isolated himself. You get what I'm saying? And that is actually our choice, no matter what the situation puts into ourselves. The sister just said it here, Glam's tan. She had friends, she goes out with her friends, then she found herself isolated in the house just with her children and the man. Do you get what I'm saying?
So I'll go back to what Reese said in the beginning. So it starts with the emotional abuse.
100%.
However,
the breakdown
subtle.
is real. The walls, the holes in your wall, in your defense, they've been going on.
Do you think that's intentional, or do you think that's... So can I ask a question? Do you think that an abusive person has a particular character?
So
is it a
narcissistic?
Yeah.
I think
I like how
narcissist.
you rephrased the question, because when you first highlighted it when you're speaking with the brother Reese, I did actually want to touch on that. So what I understand and what I comprehend, and is this: if you don't go through your own therapy, you will never get it. Do you get what I'm saying? I've actually sat down and spoke with a therapist who was blown away by my comprehension. She said, you've changed how I would deliver this program forever. Because victims create victims. So we can't say these people are built a certain way. We have to understand what did they go through. You get what I'm saying? That made them be like this. You get what I'm saying? Because victims create victims. Like, to start calling people perpetrators, like, I think we need to remove that, because it doesn't give us understanding. You get what I'm saying? Somebody went through something. I'm not saying that.
I hear you, but what I would say is that it doesn't necessarily mean that. So if somebody abuses me, and this, I did mention this on a live podcast that we do, our event. Someone said, how often do you check on your ex-partner? And this was a man speaking, so he was posing a question to the females in the audience and said, how often after a breakup do you check on your ex-partner's mental health? And I was saying, you know what? There's a thing as emotional exploitation. And you don't have to feel guilty about calling your abuser your abuser. You don't have to feel guilty about recognizing that they're an abusive person to you.
100.
Now that doesn't mean that you can't be empathetic, that person has been through something and they require assistance, but it doesn't necessarily mean that assistance has to come from you.
No. And I'm not even saying that. I'm not even saying that. Everything you said, I fully agree with. the recognition of victims create victims is to understand that somebody who is an abuser
Has been a
potentially has
victim.
an issue.
Mm-hmm.
That's all it's there for. You get what I'm saying? And then we can understand where that issue comes from. It's not for me to help you with that issue, but if I can identify what that should do, is actually help me.
Right.
If you're not dealing with your issue, should I stay in this situation? Do you get what I'm saying? If I can't identify what your issue is, likely I'm gonna stay in that situation because there's many things going on.
I think it's something to do with you.
And it's not to do with me. And just saying, I feel like I've got something to give here, which is actually nothing to do with me. So, like, not to, like, in my recognition, again, like you said, I've never got an apology. It's hard for someone to recognize, like, and give you something that they haven't really dealt with in themselves. Yeah. So I had to find my path to healing. Do you get what I'm saying? I had to find go to therapy, do what I had to do. Because there was a point in me that actually I hated this woman, but then that doesn't serve our children. Do you get what I'm saying? Like the energy that I now exert because of how I feel towards you doesn't actually benefit our children. So I had to remove myself from that. Do you get what I'm saying? I don't want to hate you actually because we created children. So no matter where you're at and what you're doing, I need to have a certain respect. Just we are the parents of our children, innit? And I need to conduct myself. And what gave me even that was my mum. I never ever saw this woman disrespect my dad. And I couldn't understand how when he wasn't in the house. But the how was, he's your father. And the way I say it is that even though my dad wasn't present, the respect for him remained. You get what I'm saying? So he had a place in our yard. Respect for your father. If we do things, I'm phoning your dad. There's no disrespect on your dad for not being here. So we got to see for ourselves our dad's inability. Do you get what I'm saying? Can you phone dad? Yes, son. Dad didn't answer the phone. My mum didn't block. She didn't say, no, I'm not going to phone your dad. She said, you want to phone your dad? Here. The phone rings. Can we phone again? The phone rings again. We get to experience that. Do you get what I'm saying? So there wasn't anything in the way of me seeing what my dad was for me. And in my experience with my children, there was things in the way, the mum, because of where she was at in how they now experience me. Do you see what I'm saying? Like, imagine that the emotional abuse is so real because, and it's not just emotion. When we say emotional, it's mental as well. Because
what's the difference between mental and emotional abuse?
Emotional is more when actually they do something that actually makes you feel a certain thing. So playing with your children, playing with something that actually draws out your feelings. You get what I'm saying? The mental is actually word sound. Telling you things like about yourself, breaking you down. Oh, you're not a good father. Like my children, my first son, this boy was my handbag. And what helped me go through what I didn't understand about women after pregnancy, the issues that they go through, was a brother, one of my brethren, who just had more experience. He's like, bro, don't worry about the first 2 years. I'm like, what do you mean don't worry about the first 2 years? Like, you can't do nothing, fam. Just wait 2 years, like maybe a year and a half, that's you. Just relax. So I sat down, dude, man, get on with it. Just relax. So my brethren said, wait for 2 years. Like, I'm a father. I want to see my youth. I want to be present.
What is in being active with your child? You can't do anything for 2 years.
Yes.
That's advice that he gave you.
And it was the correct advice.
Oh.
Not overstand. We can do things with our children, you know, but some mothers have a certain protective factor that even then doesn't allow them to allow the father
but that
to
doesn't
bond.
mean it's right.
No. I'm not saying it was right.
Yeah.
But the advice that my brethren gave me helped me to deal with things that, again, so I wouldn't say it was 2 years because, like, again, in the house, when she goes out to work, because we agreed she's going to go to work, I'm in the house with the child, innit? I can do what I'm doing, spend time, bond. But in terms of actually taking my child out and doing activities with him and, like, engaging him in the world, like training, football training things, they don't start till after 3, 4, well, depending on what you do with your child in the house. My child, my first one, I took him to football training at 3 years old. We were doing a lot outside of that. But at 3 years old, we would be riding to football training. He'd be on his own bike, like with no pedals. And people would see us and be like, what are you doing? Like, how's that child able to move like that? And I'd be riding on a big bike. He'd have his little bike, no pedals. And we'd be in the road on the pavement, like, and more time
You
I
the
don't
road
in the
with my
road.
3-year-old, you see it?
Yeah. No, because
Go
you see
catch
what?
up.
No, because this is the levels, isn't it? Men do. So
They do things
if I
differently.
if I don't teach my child, listen, I got on a moped at 14, 15 and crashed that. Never know how to ride a moped. My friends just brought a stolen moped around the ends, jumped on it. That could have been the end of my life. I ended up in the hospital that night. Yeah. My experiences made me know I would teach my children to do things. No one ever taught me to. And my dad wasn't present. He didn't teach me to ride a bike. My experiences made me know I'm going to be present for my children and teach them things. Like their body, they will be able to be active and know that they can use their body to get on with things. So riding is not an issue for my son. Like even like when I first bought the bike, his mum couldn't get it because it's a bike with no pedals.
No, I've seen children.
No. But when it's new to you, these are the times. My son's 18 now. We're talking 16 years ago. Black children didn't ride these bikes. Do you get what I'm saying? And my brother made the point of saying, you know them bikes that you see the little white youths. That's the point that he made. That's the actual point that he made in telling me to get the bike. Do you get what I'm saying? When because remember, they was wooden and those times. There wasn't even metal frames. There was wooden. I probably got my son one of the first.
I can imagine this baby in the road on this wooden bike.
No, it wasn't wooden though. I got in the metal frame. One, you get me? Yeah. So we was rolling, specialized. You get me? Got in the proper things. But once you learn how to balance, because it's called a balance bike, it's a Leica bike, yeah. They move. Once they can balance, you see them. They move by themselves. They lift up their feet. They go. Once I saw that he could balance, and obviously, in taking him out, I teach him how to cross the road, how to have road safety. So we stop at every road. So first we would ride on the pavement, and I would literally push his head. Yeah, I say stiff neck, and he'd sit back straight, and he knows it's go time. Because first we learned how to ride that bike by walking. So I don't ride my bike first. I walk with you. You walk, daddy. I'm tired. Stiff neck, and I just walk faster, and you balance, and we just roll. Do you get me? Once I know you can do that, we can ride. So now we ride everywhere. Do you get what I'm saying? Now let me just cut this and get to the point what I'm saying, because sorry.
Yeah.
So the mental, again, like I put in, and you being the mother of our child, you see the work that I put in. You see, like you said, mothers need little respite. Do you get what I'm saying? So when I take you out the yard, you get little respite. Do you get what I'm saying? Why would you turn around in front of our child for some silly little argument? I'm sorry that's your dad. That's crazy mental abuse. Crazy mental abuse.
Mad.
And it's both mental and emotional. Do you get what I'm saying? And you're actually abusing the child in that situation.
Yeah, definitely.
Do you get what I'm saying? And there's crazy comments that I would receive, like, from my child's mother in front of our children. Do you get what I'm saying? That's mental abuse. That's mental abuse. When she said to me, if you do that, I'm not going to see a child, that could be emotional abuse. Do you get what I'm saying? Because how I feel about the thought of even not seeing my child, the fear.
Yeah, and because she knows that. She knew that as well. When they know, then they can use that against you.
So how do you take your power back? Because I hear this a lot of the time from fathers. That, parental alienation is a real thing. Brother Extra has a group, Fighting Fathers, that actually targets this issue. Ree, I know you fought for your child in the courts, and you're a full-time father. And many men begin to feel resentful to women because they've been through emotional turmoil, parental alienation, and they feel as though it's something that women can't understand or empathize with. Other women can't understand or empathize with. And it kind of, from what I've witnessed, it kind of taints the relationships that they have with women and the trust and things like that they have with women going through something so significant as having, something that's so dear to you, that's supposed to be yours, restricted from you, and you've had to go and fight. Because even when I'm trying to support fathers, I've supported you both in different ways at different times. And sometimes I have to be very like, you need to do this and this and this. You need to
get this sign.
Tough love. Yeah, it's true.
Because I'm an advocate for that. I'm an
Yeah.
advocate of that for that. For good fathers that want to show up
Yeah.
and they're fighting to see their children. But I also see the flip side of things where it wears you down. I've seen it erode confidence, esteem. I've seen it do so much. So it's like, bro.
Erode.
Yeah.
It's a
No, I've
serious
seen
thing.
it. I've seen it.
But you see what
I've
you said,
seen it.
yeah? It's actually, it's important. I don't live in resentment. That is a painful place.
How did you?
Do you get what I'm
Because
saying?
I've
And
seen
I just want to take a moment to spud my brother, who I recognize does not live in that place either, just based on the expression. Do you get what I'm saying? Because it's important, because all you do when you live in that space is you perpetuate the cycle.
It doesn't get
Do
anywhere.
you get what I'm saying?
Right.
You don't get anywhere at all.
And I've watched you go through the journey, and you're very
Proper.
far from where you started.
Proper.
You are miles away. I want to spud you.
Proper.
I want to spud you because you are
Hey.
you're worlds away.
Princess
from
has seen me pop down.
Yeah.
Real talk, emotionally and mentally pop down.
Yeah, I've seen
Yeah.
you a different person.
Real spit.
And how you've managed to gather yourself and ground yourself and bring yourself into a space of peace. I think you have gems to share.
Thank you. And that's why I opened the group. To be honest, I'm working right now to get it registered as a CIC, so we can actually do activities, create workshops. Even like now, I'm working on creating abuse awareness workshops, parenting workshops. I know the system does these things, but actually, some of them create them out of just a basic
target.
comprehension. Do you
Hit
get what I'm saying?
targets, quotas.
Yeah,
it's not really.
they don't have the actual understanding of what these things entail. Do you get what I'm saying? Even like when I was sitting down with the woman, one of my therapists, and she was like, "You've changed how I would deliver this program to anyone else." Because it was funny. Through social services, I had a situation, right? Now, I've never put my hand on my children's mother. I will say live on air, we had one situation where I had so much on me that I actually had snapped in my head. And this was the day that I actually wanted to put my hands on her. And just what happened when I went through the door made me realize I don't want to do that. So I was so angry that I was looking at her in the room. Our children are outside. And she's just screaming a whole load of things. I can't remember what she was saying. I said, "Yeah, please just stay in the room. Like, if I go through this door,
So you looked her from the outside. You were in
I'm
the
holding the
outside
door.
and you were saying, I don't want you to come out. Because
Yeah, I'm holding
I
the
know
door.
how-
Yeah, she's going crazy. The children are there. I'm just trying to say, like, just stay in the room and just calm down for a second. You get me? Because I need peace, right? I don't think you understand where I'm at. She's at the door trying to pull the door. And I thought, you know what? Fuck this. Push the door open and I heard boom. And the force of the boom just made me stop. Just sent something in me, like, see, when the door moved, the door hit her in her eyebrow here. And I looked and saw the blood. And I said, I don't want to use my hands to do that. That's not what I want to do. That was my reality check right there. Do you get what I'm saying? Like, I don't want to put my hand on and cause you blood. And just coming through the door with the intention, I don't even know what would happen when I went through the door, was enough to give me a reality. I don't want to be in that position. Do you get what I'm saying? Like,
so when someone's not honouring your boundaries, because you've all been in situations where your boundaries have been violated, how do you navigate that situation? Exit left at the very first time. Exit left.
I salute Glam's time when she said,
She just left.
it was once.
Yeah, once.
It was once, because she didn't recognise the subtle abuses that was already happening,
Right.
that reached her to isolation. So I absolutely salute her when it was once. You get what I'm saying? And that once was enough, because in life, once is enough. Do you know, like, and I wouldn't wouldn't wrong her if she said, you know, this man came to me, we had counselling, I want to give him another chance.
Right.
I wouldn't wrong her for that. But you see, at the twice,
So you're
that
saying,
must be
you're saying, because my next question was that, do you think that an abusive person can be reformed?
yes.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
definitely.
But they have to do their work.
Yeah.
Just like we
Themselves,
done.
yeah.
Oh my
Just like we
God.
Because do you know what it is? It could
Thank
be
you.
it could be triggers from their childhood or something that they've
That's what I
gone
said.
through that just makes
my
them
thing is that
like
that's
that.
not my problem.
It's not
Yeah.
your problem. It's
I'll
their
be-
Exactly,
problem.
it's not. It's
I'll be-
theirs.
It's theirs.
Definitely.
I'll be 1,000,000% real. I don't feel in myself that I wouldn't want to forgive anybody that's violated me. I can't even take cheating. I can't, because that's a breach of my boundary. That's something. And what I want people to understand is that we all have different boundaries. We all have different triggers. Yeah. Because when I say that, some people are like, oh, well, that means you're not ready for marriage because that means that you're locked in and you give your vow. You do your vows, and I have to forgive, etc. And you know, it could be, it could. Okay, we're on my show.
PryncessX Friends.
Yeah, and sing it as well. But I just feel like we have to learn and recognize the triggers in the people that we love, and learn and recognize the boundaries in the people that we love, because particularly when we're young, because what I wanted to ask you as well, because I know you got with your ex-wife, at quite a young age. So, and you knew each other from when you were quite young. So when you said, you know, she jumped up and she punched you and whatever, and the way you even responded by throwing your iPad underneath the bed, that
cost too much money, man.
You knew
it was gonna get broke up in it if you kept it out.
That's the stuff that I would have with my brother. Do you know what I mean? Like, oh, you want to take my thing, man? Do you understand? Because what I've realized is that when you grow with somebody, you are sometimes stuck in immature cycles, and because you've met each other at that stage, sometimes some immature ways that don't serve you stay in the relationship.
But you know what made me throw the iPad under the bed? She'd broken my phone before.
Right.
Like, she accused me of some cheating when we were younger. You know me, I've got lots of female friends.
Yes,
and from
yeah.
And she had, remember that Razor phone, the Vodafone, the gold one?
Yeah.
Save up money for that, you know.
I love that phone.
And she went through my phone, whatever, and she saw a message, and it wasn't even that bad. And she just went in front of me.
Oh, God.
And looked at me.
That's wild.
Do you know one? I'm like, no.
No, I don't know them ones.
But
financial abuse.
That's crazy.
Right.
So what did
but this time I had money in it. But
but
it was,
financial abuse.
Did you
No matter
think
you
that
got
was
money,
normal
bro.
at the time?
I lost it. But my daughter was, I think, like 6 months. And my daughter was in the house with my mum down the stairs. And I think, and I was going football that day. I remember I was going football that day, and my boy was at the door, waiting for me to bring up my bag to go.
And now your phone is in her house.
I got no phone.
That's very wild.
I've got to get my head in the game.
Yeah.
And then she ran out the house, got in the car and drove off. My mum was trying to tell us, where you going? Like, what's going on? But she ignored my mum.
Oh, she
ignored my mum.
She
And you know, sometimes you think, I was thinking back when I was going through my account, I was thinking back, like, you actually ignored my mum.
That's really rude.
Very
disrespectful.
Mum, like you said, you know me. Parts of grandma, mum is my. Just with my mum, sorry, I'll go jail. I'll give my mum my lung. I'll give my mum any organ that she needs, she can have. Yeah. So, and she knows that. So the fact that you disrespected my mum, ran past it, and you just ignored it, got in the car and drove off with my daughter. My mum's trying to talk to you and find out what's going on. I thought to myself, nah. That's just something. I was just going through counselling and going through my healing. These things start popping up. This, that, and the other. I'm like, nah. And like I said to people, like I have people ask me, do you hate your ex-wife? No. No.
You don't
I have my daughter. I have my daughter. My daughter lives with me 3 years now. I've had my daughter and social services and everything, and I've got her now. And her mum took me to court, thinking she's gonna get her back.
I remember that.
Yeah. But I knew she weren't, because my daughter's at the age now where she speaks for herself. And the stuff that my daughter said to me, same abuse that I had, she had gone through. The same abuse that I didn't think that she knew about, the fight in the house, my daughter was awake. I didn't know this until she's now 16 now. She come back and tells me.
And that kind of debunks that, you know, stay together for the children because, work it through because you have kids.
Therapy.
Because the trauma gets passed on to them.
Passed on to her. So for the first year I had her, I had to deal. Remember, I'm now a new full-time dad. I've had to find a home. I've had to work harder. I've had to grind harder. I've had to provide for another a mouth to feed. I've had to think about school uniform. I've had to think all this for myself because her mum ain't giving me none of that. You understand? And I'm still trying to get her to talk to her mum. I'm still trying to go and speak to mum on weekends. I phone your mum every day. And I'm trying to speak to her like, why aren't you talking to your mum, to find out that my daughter had gone through so much trauma with her mum, that was hidden from me. My daughter was having nightmares. I'm like, why are you not sleeping? Dad, come up, crying in her sleep. I remember a couple of times when I was staying at my ex-partner's house with my daughter, I had to sit her and watch her sleep because I didn't feel comfortable. What was attacking you in your sleep that you shivering? The girl's shivering in her sleep. I think to myself now. So I stayed up maybe I think 1 or 2
That's
nights. She didn't even know.
emotional
1 or
and
2 nights.
mental.
I sat there from 9 p.m. till 5 a.m. awake watching my daughter sleep, making sure she's gonna be okay, making sure she doesn't get up and do a madness because she's telling me, Dad, I'm having nightmares. I'm having nightmares. I'm having nightmares. I'm having nightmares.
About her mum.
About her mum. About her mum. So I had to deal with that as a new father. Deal with that, get her into school, doing all this stuff, still pushing to go and see her mother. Even now.
So what would due to both of your experiences, because you're both coming from a household and a relationship with an abusive person.
Yeah.
And you have children with this abusive person. How do you advise someone in your position, because this isn't unheard of, for men to be in these type of situations and feel helpless? So for you guys, you've been through this turmoil. It hasn't been in vain. You know, I've seen the growth in you, but it's come at a cost.
Yeah.
And as you both have said, these are things you've had to figure out on your own. What advice would you give to men in these types of situations?
Have your own house. Whether you own that, it's council rented. Do you get what I'm saying? One of the, and it's not even just about being a father, but if you're gonna be a father, like, it's necessary that you have your own space.
Yeah.
So I'm saying that you're not bringing your children back to your mum's
Girlfriend
house.
or your mum's house.
You know what I'm saying? Like, and if it is your girlfriend, don't get it twisted. At least it's your yard.
Yeah.
Do you get what I'm saying? Like, if you do go to your girlfriend's house, at least they know my dad has his home separate from the partner's home. Because I'm fortunately I had my house, my property before my children were born. So I had my property before she even got hers. So it would even slip out. I'll go to your mum, and she would stop.
She can't. Yeah.
Because I'm not going to my mum's house if you kick me out of this yard, and I'm going to my yard.
Because that's a big fear for
It's
men
a-
as well, isn't
what?
it?
It's a major
that
thing.
is- and you see it you hear it in songs, you hear it in stories. You hear, go stay at mum's house, go sleep on the sofa.
Right.
And I had it, and you know what? You saying that, right? When I heard that, I heard that once, and I always say to myself, no woman's ever gonna tell me again
Once is
to go
enough.
and sleep, and go back to your mum's house, go back to your grandma's house. How dare you? That for me, that was it. The one time I heard that.
Yeah,
When I got kicked
definitely.
out the yard, well, I got asked to leave.
Have your
Never
space. And when you have that space, because you see, like, feel like there's two sides to this coin, innit? So men who feel like, how am I gonna get a yard? Use your head. Now use your head. Do you get what I'm saying? Because again, you could be in a relationship, right? You get a home, you can rent out. Do you get what I'm saying? Anything goes wrong in the yard that you're in, if you're in that space, you've got a home to go to. You've got your home, and you're getting a surplus. Because one of my issues was I didn't actually ever make money from my home. You get me? It took me so long. In my relationship now, I feel like, raw, I've got a yard I can make money. In the relationship I'm in now,
It's a safe
you get-
relationship.
I feel safe.
Yeah.
I feel safe.
Yeah.
I feel like my children are safe. Do you get what I'm saying? Like, I can grow outside of my home. Do you get what I'm saying? I don't feel like I'm going to get sent home. And
Yeah.
even if I do need to go home, that's my home. That's my peace. Do you get what I'm saying? So anything that goes on in this space, I don't have to act like a madman. I can go home. Do you get what I'm saying? I can take a day out. I can take 2 days out. It's important that you have your own space. Do you get what I'm saying? Like, that is one of the biggest things that I could say as advice for fathers.
What do you
100%.
think?
I think for me was finding who I am, finding my why and my purpose. That's what got me. I think I'll probably share with extra. I think when you go for a rough patch and a dark time, you find out who you really are. And I was in a point. I'm not gonna lie. I was in a point when everything happened with me. I was in a point of doing mad things. I had vision of I had balaclava thoughts.
Not Rally Fox. That's a glove.
Bally
Bally-
and
Bally-
glove.
I was
People
thinking,
don't understand.
I was like, my head was gone. Like, how could you do this to me?
It's a dark
Like,
place.
and I had, to be fair, I had mum, but my mum would never know what it feels like. Do you understand? I had my stepdad at the time. He would never know what it feels like. I went to they're never gonna know what it feels like. Do you understand? So it was to find out my why and my purpose. But what drew me closer was getting closer to God. I think it's praying more. Like me, I'm growing up in a Christian background with my grandparents and my parents. It was just speaking to them and then asking. Like, to be fair, I used to ask people like, why me? Like, because I've been through so much in life. Why me? Why? That was the question. Why me? And then I think one time I was a couple of praying and I was talking. I watched a lot of like motivational stuff, and then it flipped it. I flipped it. Why not you? That's what changed it for me. Everything you've gone through in life, you're still here. Everything that's happened to you, you're still here. You've had this happen to you, you're still here. There's a reason. So I started to think to myself, there's a reason. Okay, cool. What is the reason? And then just started to watch more motivational stuff, pray more, speak to my grandparents, like I said. And then things start to change. Like when you start speaking things in existence, things start to change. Like I was like, okay, cool. This is happening. What's next? That's happening. What's next? That's happening. That's why when people see, when you guys, how come you're always happy? Why not? Like,
You've taken your power back.
I've taken my power
Definitely.
back, and I would never put that power in anyone else's hands.
Yeah.
And you know that question,
Yeah. 100%.
Again.
why not you? That's a game changer. I want to double down on the God aspect. I don't say God, I say Most High.
Yeah.
But you see, that was the God telling you, why not you?
Yeah.
You answer the call.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? Because hearing that, the Testament, I had the same kind of thing myself. It's like, I've gone through this for a reason, but if you find your why and your purpose, that is another important thing.
Not an
Because
important thing, yeah.
doing Man in Action, one thing I say to the brothers that we support in empowerment, not fighting fathers, because Man in Action came first, is that once you have your standards, you know what you're willing to accept.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? So even your why, finding your purpose, that would enable you to know how to even navigate yourself in that situation and navigate yourself out of it too. Do you get what I'm saying? So I really appreciate you adding that as
That was the foundation. Once I found my why and my purpose, it just started to open up doors. It just started to open up relationships. It started to open up connection. It started to open up this.
Relationships alone.
Well, we'll talk about for now.
Yeah.
But I talk about relationships. I'm about friendships. Like,
I received you, bro.
You know what? I
received you,
like, I think relationships. I'm still working. I'm still working on it. But
Do you know what it is? Do you know what it is? Let me elaborate on that. You have a special type of personality. You have values integrity and humility, and I feel like you don't protect yourself enough. I think you're too open to everybody, and your discernment isn't as, you don't act on your discernment, and you believe everybody has the same type of heart as you, and it's lovely, even though all the things that you've been
Actually talking to
through.
me.
Yes, I talk to him. That's why you're both here. I talk to him like that. But yeah, and I've watched him go through a similar journey. But it is that not everybody deserves access to you. Not everybody, just because they say a few nice things or they present themselves in a certain type of way, you just need to start understanding you're magical, you're precious, and start treating yourself like that.
And you saying that, I think the last relationship I had, that's when I knew, because before in the past, like we've spoken about before, I'd let things ride. I'd probably dumb myself down because I want to please that person, or I do what they want to do, and I put myself in the back bed. Even when you're going back to isolating yourself, I remember when I was with my wife, I hardly saw my mum. My mum was my peak. Do you understand? I hardly saw my friends. I would always go into her dad's house, her thing. And then she was
It does. You don't realise it's happening.
To your family.
But I'm bringing my daughter with me. Do you understand?
Narcissistic.
I think that mostly happens with men.
And I'd accept it, because you know what?
I
In my
think
mum's,
so.
when my mum and my stepdad were together, it was just them two and the kids.
Right.
We see aunties and uncles and everything, but but to be fair, because it was our household, it was me, my brother, my two sisters, it felt like a big family. So but when we go to grandma's, we go together. When we go to a family function or a function,
together.
we go
I like
together.
that.
Do you
Go as a
understand?
family.
We used to have family meetings.
Mm-hmm.
Do you understand?
good.
On a Friday, you can't listen. If you are gonna book cinema, you're not having it between the hours of 7 and 8
Wow.
because you know you got family meeting.
Do you
Oh,
still
wow,
do this?
that's
So with
good.
my daughter now, the one that lives with me,
Mm-hmm.
she's at the age now when she wants to go in her room
Yeah,
and blah, blah.
exactly.
But when I do speak to her, it's just one time.
Mm-hmm.
Or when I do have a conversation with her, she's growing up now, boys like her and all that stuff. I already said to her certain things that need in place. And it's trying to install the stuff that my mum and my stepdad and my dad, to be fair, has installed into me to put into her.
Mm-hmm.
And my eldest daughter. to be fair.
Legacy.
The legacy
Yeah.
to carry on. Like I said to her, I keep telling her, don't let these young boys try and take you for idiot because I will go jail.
Well,
Yeah? No.
I
No.
need you outside.
I know. But at the same time, there has been an instant like recently, she says a boy that likes her, bring him to me.
Yeah. Yeah.
100%.
Straight.
Bring him to
a
me.
bit of that.
Straight.
Bring him
Yeah.
to me. So I've met the young guy.
Mm-hmm. What's he
He
saying?
came over. He was cool,
Mad.
nervous,
Same.
of course.
Yeah.
But I said to him, the next step
That shows
now,
respect.
he was nervous. Next step now is that now he has to meet your uncle
Mm-hmm.
and godfathers.
And uncle.
And uncle,
100%.
there you
Yeah,
go.
uncle
You understand?
Yeah.
And I posted a video.
Alright.
Aunties.
Bad boys.
You know, not even bad boys.
Yeah.
Because my brother's 6'4". Dread. So I'm not even that. You know that video of the movie with 50 Cent? And he's playing Den of Thieves. And everyone, and all the mandems in the garage.
Oh, yes.
And the boy comes over and he touches the
Hey,
yeah.
Alright,
put
one
that
of
up.
those scenarios.
put
When
that
you're
up.
ready,
It's funny.
guys.
I sent it to
No,
my
I'm going to
I'm
send it to
here,
you,
man.
I said to
Princess.
my
I'll send it
daughter,
to you.
and
It's
my daughter
funny.
goes, Dad, no. I said,
Listen.
you playing with me?
Dad, no.
Are you playing with me?
Listen.
Because she knows I will do that.
Yeah. It's funny.
No
Yeah?
games.
So
No
I
games.
think, I
Hey,
think for
I love
me,
you,
it's just
Reese.
passing down the knowledge and the legacy. I'm still learning as a dad. So I said to my friends, like, well, Rion, you know so much. I know nothing. I'm still a blank canvas. I'm still learning. I like to learn every day. I'm trying to pass on what I've learned from my experiences to my child or my children.
But you see that there. That's why in my journey, I've realised we who do have something to share cannot say we know nothing.
Yeah.
But all that we do know, I know there's more that I can learn.
Yeah.
Then
See
that's
what
what
I'm
it is.
Definitely.
'Cause
That's what it is.
you just said you're sharing your experiences,
Yeah.
bro. You
Exactly.
can't say you're sharing
Yeah, and
nothing
you
with
should-
someone.
Yeah.
Do you get what I'm saying? You
Gems.
got something to share. You got gems to
Yeah.
share.
So when I'm
Literally.
sharing with my daughter, I always, and then she asks me why. And I think back in the day when we told us, stop asking me question why, just because I said so.
Right.
I've got past that stage because I used to say to her, because I said so. I think she's at the age now, she's 16, and even my daughter that's 18, I have to give them the reasons because I don't want to go and find the reason somewhere else. Do you understand?
And they're old
Yeah.
enough
And
to
they're old enough.
comprehend. Yes,
Yes,
So
Definitely.
I have to make sure that I have an answer.
And touching on the last point I want to touch on before we close is what is the advice that you have to give to, I was going to say young fathers, but fathers of any age that cannot see their children, that want to go through the court process, don't know where to turn, and have you got any words of wisdom to just, let them know?
Rule number 1, never give up on your child. No matter, like,
Man.
Extra will tell you, you could be in the darkest pit of hell, and that's a dark place, right? And never give up because the child will thank you in the end. And I think for me personally, and I'm going to speak on my experiences, is that you just have to keep going. There's always, like I said, I'm positive in it. So for me, it's probably for me, I'm 8 years in of positivity in. So for me, everything's I'm all happy. Yeah. But I think for me, it's just keep going, keep that wheel greased, keep going, and speak. Speak to people that you can trust. Yeah. Speak to people that you can hold who can hold you accountable as well. Yeah. So those people because I think sometimes people like to hear the nice side. I was used to sometimes, you're gonna see your daughter, man. Give it time. You're gonna see your daughter. I think one time my dad said to me, just go make another one. Yeah. Yeah. But it's just speaking to the right people all the time and keep speaking and keep speaking and keep speaking. For those that know me, I don't speak a lot. It might sound like I do, but you know what I mean. When it comes to myself, I will give you the greatest advice.
Yeah.
But about myself, I will just.
Yeah.
Do you understand?
You can suffer in silence.
So That was my problem, suffering in silence. And you might ask me, "Oh, really, you're okay?" These times, I'm looking to mash down something.
Yeah, you speak when it's really, really, it's too extreme now.
And I think for some, if you haven't got that strong mind, you might pop,
Yeah.
and then you're doing something you don't want to do. So I think for me is never give up on a child, and if you have the access to the child, let them know Daddy loves you. Yeah, Daddy will never give up on you. So I think that's the starting, and then start speaking to your friends, like the group that Extra has. Start sharing the knowledge that you have. We're quick to share videos of twerking and fights and this and that, but why not share a WhatsApp group? Oh, bro, I'm in this WhatsApp group, you know. Oh, bro, why don't we go link up and, do you understand? That's what needs to be shared. So that's what I think should happen.
That was some gems there, and I was gonna jump to say the same thing, you know, like don't give up on it, because it's very important. But it's also very easy to us to say that, because I've been in a place where I felt like, what do I do? You know what I'm saying? I felt very helpless, especially in isolating myself or being isolated outside of the home of my children.
Yeah.
Do you get me? Like, not giving up when you don't know what to do doesn't seem like a reality.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? So I was gonna jump to say that, and I appreciate that you did, because it gave me time to actually consider, now how do I build on what you've just said? Because it's easy to say don't give up. Do you get what I'm saying? Like, what are the factors to not giving up? And you then added on that. So that's why I even appreciate that you even went one step further. Said talk to someone, talk to trusted people. Do you get what I'm saying? Because it's important. You know, Princess, like. We've had back and forth where I've said, "Lad, you can't stop telling me this." But it's through the openness to talk. Do you get what I'm saying? That we can even have conversation. Like you said, someone told you, go make another one. Do you know, one of my eyes said the same thing. Yeah. Why are you stressing for when you can go and have 20 rascal children out here?
What's that?
And I thought about it. But would that make me happy? Do you know what I'm saying? But the reality is, though, it gives you something to think about. Because when you're going through a situation, you might not even open your mind up to any other option. And if an option that might seem ludicrous to you is presented, even if you think about it, at least it's opened you up. So now, maybe some other options, just in your own mind, start working. But what I'd just like to really add to those gems, what can fathers do going through this situation? Literally, I'm going to bring it back to the why purpose part is integrally, what did you choose to be a father for? You get what I'm saying? Because this is now, you have something to not give up for.
Yep.
You get what I'm saying? It's not just, I just don't give up. Do you get what I'm saying? But why did you choose to be a father? Someone say, she just had the baby. Was you not at no point happy to be a father? Do you see what I'm saying? Like, you got to have your reason for why you want to be in your child's life. Do you get what I'm saying? And no matter what, like you said, it could be 5 years, it could be 10 years, it could be 2 weeks. So everyone's situation is different. But that child, knowing that you, even if you wasn't present, wanted to be present. So again, if let me be more and hit this home. For fathers who actually might not be seeing their children right now, you can write a letter a week. You can write a letter every 2 weeks. Do you get what I'm saying? Just expressing yourself. At least at the point when you do get to make contact, you've got something to give them.
Right.
Do you get what I'm saying?
That's beautiful.
And that's what I was leading to. Do you see what I'm saying? Because you did really hit a few good points there, my bro. So yeah.
Love, bro. And to close, what I want to ask you is, what's your message to those suffering from domestic violence, men or women?
Don't keep it inside. Talk to someone who you trust. Go to therapy, groups, 100%. And what I would say is stay prayerful as well. Keep evolving, and just love who loves you, and just keep it moving.
Also,
keep it moving.
report it.
Yeah.
That's another thing.
I definitely.
I don't want to go off or
Don't
go in.
suffer in silence.
Don't suffer in silence.
Don't
If you, like, I hear people say, "Oh, but you didn't report it though." The numbers that, people talk about statistics and numbers, and you didn't report it. These numbers. If something's happened to you, report it.
Can I add to that as well? Because like your circumstance was you was very fortunate. And my first circumstance, when I reported my children's mother to the police, wasn't so fortunate. And that actually put me off.
Yeah.
that actually made me not ever want to report her again for anything, because it didn't go in my favor. But then what didn't go in my favor was not making a report.
Yeah.
So when we now have a situation where she's flying off the handle, I'm coming out of the house, she hit me in the back of my head, like that whole what?
Yeah.
There was a rubbish bag at the front of the door, and I turned around and I annihilated that rubbish bag. That's what I wanted to do to her. Do you get what I'm saying? I've turned around and I've annihilated that rubbish bag and tried to close the door shut so I'm not being attacked and run. Do you get what I'm saying? I want to get out of the house. Obviously, she's frustrated that I've annihilated the rubbish bag. She caught the door and grabbed me again. Boom, boom. So I've turned around, put her on the floor, restrained, pushed her back in the house, restrained. Yeah? I had one hand around her throat, one hand on her wrist. And she was saying, "Oh, you're strangling me." I'm saying, "I'm not strangling you." But it's a heated moment, innit? So I'm have to think like, raw, let me move my hand.
Yeah.
Do you get what I'm saying? Like, so I've moved my hand, innit? I'm saying, when I let you go, let me leave this house. Now, that went against me. Because even though no action, I went to the police station, told them exactly what happened. She assaulted me. I know that I had the right to defend myself. And all I did was restrain her, no further action. But the point that they made, that you've never ever reported
it before.
So when we're going with social services and all of this, that one report that she made, even though there was no further action against me, social services had me pegged as a perpetrator of a domestic abuse for a long time. Like, and that was hard to deal with when I hadn't done anything.
You were the victim.
I had no allegation. It was one incident. Police was called and they said no further action. So why do you still have me pegged? I had no evidence.
It's because you didn't have
I
the
had no
report.
evidence.
So, guys, reporting it is very necessary.
Even if it's just for evidence sake.
Right. You've been fed some real gems, some real wisdom by real people today. Guys, it's your girl, Princess. Do get involved. Subscribe. You've been here today with my real friend, so it's been an absolute it's been an absolute pleasure. We've managed to behave ourselves, so yeah. Lots of love, guys. Catch you on the other side.
Princess and friends, all love, all love. When you talk to me, it's all love.